Here we. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and welcome to the streams. Welcome to the first Wrestling Experience of 2023.
Awesome power of nature, hot excitement of freedom.
Because after you get struck by lightning, there's thunder.
Now, with the hottest show in the universe, the Wrestling Experience, with your host, Earl Cole.
Acknowledge me.
Coming at you with all the dope shit, freshest WWE content, and also the AEW. You are now watching The Experience, the Wrestling Experience. Now with your host, Earl Cole.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and welcome to the streams. Welcome to Facebook. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome all points in between. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Hardcore Sports Network. Please subscribe to all of the content creators you see here in front of me. They are absolutely fabulous at what they do. So let me introduce you to my panelists. Oh, just one thing. I just want to let my audience know Dylan McCutcheon was supposed to be here tonight, but he's not available. But we got three great content creators of the Hardcore Sports Network that will bring boom in your tune and give you the best things that they could possibly give you here tonight on the Wrestling Experience. So, yes, the Earlisms. The Earlisms are back for 2023. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 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 yes. Let me introduce you to my panelists. First of all, this guy is passionate. He's a passionate Giants fan. He's a passionate wrestling fan. He's my co-pilot for the Raw Watch Along, and he's making his first appearance ever on the Wrestling Experience. He's a whole lot of fun because he's a whole lot of Jeffrey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and the only, the icon of the Hardcore Sports Network, Mr. Jeffrey Turner. Jeffrey, welcome aboard the Raw. Welcome aboard the Wrestling Experience.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be able to be on my first episode of the Wrestling Experience and sharing the stage with three other phenomenal content creators, not only in wrestling, but in football, baseball, basketball, all together. So just thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to talk some wrestling.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, the next guy we got on, he is one of the founding forefathers of the Hardcore Sports Network. He's got football, he's got wrestling, he's got everything. This guy is absolutely great. He's one of my good friends. He's a great guy. He's a great guest. I love having him on the show. Please clap it up for the one and only Mr. Mitch Kofsky. Mitch, welcome aboard the Wrestling Experience.
Thank you for having me on, Earl. I always love being on your show, just talking wrestling. It's just like you're really knowledgeable, and that's why I recruited you to be a part of this network. And my team's the only one who has more than 9 wins. Farewell.
Ladies and gentlemen, and last but never least, he is revered by everyone here at the Hardcore Sports. He's got his own YouTube channel. Please subscribe to him. He is a passionate Giants fan. He loves talking sports and wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Mr. Mac the Giants fan. Mac, welcome back to the Wrestling Experience, my man. You're the giant of the Giants. Welcome back, my friend.
Earl, man, thanks for having me back, man. Love chopping it up here on the Wrestling Experience, talking wrestling with you, man. I just every time I always have a good time coming on here with you, man. It's always a pleasure, and thanks for the invite once again. And let me remind everyone that my New York Giants have 4 Super Bowls to your Philadelphia Eagles 1. Okay.
Have to live in the past, huh? We got to live in the past, right?
Oh man. I think what's going to happen is Mac the Giants fan is going to give Mitch the Buddha Jew. He's going to give him the Buddha Jew.
He is. He is.
He's going to give him the Buddha Jew. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the Wrestling Experience, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be discussing AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite last night took place in Seattle, Washington, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a red hot show. It was a fun show. We got a brand new set. We got more pyro than you could ever imagine, and we got some great wrestling. So we're going to discuss that and so much more here tonight. We're also going to be discussing something that I'm not pleasantly happy with, the Vince McMahon situation. As everybody knows, Vince McMahon wants to come back to the WWE. He wants to sell the company. He wants to control everything once again. I'm not happy about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not happy. This is very shocking. So we're going to be discussing that tonight with my panelists and get their thoughts on the whole situation. So before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go around the horn here, and I'm going to ask Jeffrey first, then Mitch, then Mac. Okay, Jeffrey, here's your question. What did you make of the overall build for last night's AEW Dynamite?
I mean, I thought the show was the type of show you want to kick off the new year when you're bringing out new staging, new lighting, a new type of feel to the AEW program. After what you had previously, I thought the staging was incredible. I thought the wrestling in the ring, for the most part, was incredible. I thought that some of the segments moved along pretty well. I mean, was it a flawless show? No, but I mean, the presentation, especially with Mike Mansari coming in and doing his work backstage, was just it was beautiful to look. I loved the presentation of the new AEW set, the new AEW pyro, just the entire setup. And I mean, it really made for a good illumination when you're clicking onto the show for the first show of 2023 for AEW.
Mitch, what did you think?
I love the energy. I love the fact that it's in Bryan Danielson's hometown. I mean, just the whole crowd going, yes, yes. I was doing yes, too. I can admit it. I was doing it. I mean, come on now. How could you not? That was such a great moment. The promo of Hangman Page, Paige picking Tony Storm as her tag partner. A lot of stuff to talk about from this episode. So.
Yes.
Mac, what did you think?
I mean, just to piggyback off of what these guys already said, the same thing. You're starting the year off with an absolute bang here out in Seattle, man. The two hometown guys, Bryan Danielson and Darby Allin, getting the ovations they got, man, getting that hometown love. I mean, like you said, there's so much to talk about from this show. That look, that side eye Sheeta gave Saraya as she picked Tony Storm and just kind of almost ignored Sheeta like she wasn't even there. What do we got coming down the line, building up off of that? I mean, it's AEW, man. They're doing it, and it's like they're starting off 2023 the right way.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with all three of your assessments. I'm going to agree with it. The Dynamite was fabulous. The build was fantastic. The matches were great. One match, though, that was very controversial, and we're going to discuss it, was the tag team title match. But we're going to discuss it. A lot of crazy things happened in the match, which led up to the Battle of the Belts rematch. No holds barred, but we're going to discuss that as well. So let's talk about the first match for a second. It was Ricky Starks taking on Chris Jericho. The match was a banger. The match was fantastic. Great chemistry in the ring, great nuances of the match. I loved every nuance of it. I wanted some more of that split pea soup with the ham in it and the cornbread and everything else that was in it. The match was great. The match was it was delicious, and I wanted more of it. Very fun, tight match for me. Very hard hitting. Jeffrey, what did you make of the match itself?
I was phenomenal. I mean, there was really nothing negative to say. I mean, Ricky Starks, he's so over now with the crowd. He's becoming one of those young guys who worked his way up, coming into AEW from when he used to work in NWA and in the independent scene. And he's slowly working himself up to be one of those next big prospects coming up in the AEW pipeline. And I mean, Chris Jericho does what Chris Jericho does best. He helps elevate the talent in the ring. I mean, that one spot where Ricky Starks is on the mat, pretty much passing out, and then you have, the part of the Jericho's Appreciation Society on the outside, pretty much taunting Ricky Starks all the time. Looks like he's passing out, circa of what The Rock did back in the day, or even Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he just finds a way to push it back and gets that big spear at the end. I thought the presentation of the match was great. I love Ricky Starks is becoming one of those big time stars in that company. It was a perfect way to kick off the show by one of your pillars or future pillars of this company moving forward, getting a monster win against Chris Jericho.
Mitch, what did you think?
The match was very good. It was very entertaining. And here's another thing, too. Chris Jericho putting over younger talent once again. How many times has this guy has done it? I'm pretty sure he did it, Jeff, a couple weeks ago when me and you were doing the AEW thing?
Yeah, he's been putting over a lot of young talent recently, which is what you ask your veterans to do, your leaders.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is, and I love it from Jericho, and this is going to give a huge spark to Sparks. Sorry for the
pun. Mac, what did you think of the match?
I mean, there's not a better way they could have started this show off, man, last night. That match was absolutely awesome. Bell to bell, man. I'm telling you, Ricky Starks is the guy that in a couple of years, that pop that Jericho and MJF type guys are receiving right now, when he comes out to the ring and everybody will be singing, he's that guy. He's that next guy. He's like the next guy in line. I feel like he is building up to be that next to take over the wrestling world, man. He is an absolute star. The charisma is through the roof. That one spot when he's in the match, he's strutting across the ropes, the top rope.
Oh, that was so good.
That was great. Yeah, that was great,
man.
That was a great spot.
Are you kidding me, man? This dude is absolutely a star, a future like superstar in the making. Like you said, Jericho is definitely, doing what a true leader does. Like I said, putting all kinds of young talent over right now, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. As a wrestling fan, it's a beautiful thing to see, man, because this is what we don't get from that other company too much. You know what I mean? We don't get to see those veteran leaders stepping up and wanting to put the young talent over, man. So I love what Jericho's doing down here in AEW. He knows he's had a great career. He's a Hall of Famer all across the books. He ain't got nothing else to prove. And just that match was absolutely phenomenal, man. Start to finish, and even the aftermath, absolutely amazing, man. Just very well done.
Yeah, I go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just gotta say this. Juice replied to himself in the chat. It's like Sports Network guy is speaking facts.
Oh, good night. I love Juice. Anyway, Let me just say something. First of all, Starks looked great. He looked big time on the new stage. I love the graphics. I love the way he came out with the whole music and everything like that. I thought that was fantastic. The top rope spot, I thought that was fantastic. The whole match itself was compelling. I don't know about you guys. I can't speak for you guys, but the match itself was compelling to me. And I don't know. Let me ask you guys something. Give me a yes or a no on this. Would you say this was an instant classic?
I mean,
no.
I don't know if I'd put it quite that far. I mean, it was a great way to start off a Dynamite in 2023. But I mean, it was a great match. It was a phenomenal match. definitely pay-per-view worthy type of match. I don't know if I'd go as far as to call it quite an instant classic, but there were definitely some tremendous spots in the match, man, and it was awesome.
Here's
Yeah.
here's something that was very controversial. We're going to talk about this right now because this was something. Hangman Adam Page segment. Here's something that you would never thought you would heard from John Moxley. Moxley said, and I quote, "I will knock your dick to the dirt."
Yeah, that was a first.
That was a first. That was a first. Very compelling language from Mr. Moxley.
Wasn't that Hangman that said that
Had,
one, or was it?
had a couple F-bombs in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was Hangman that said it. But anyway, I digress. But the segment was riveting to me as a wrestling fan. What did you guys make of the segment?
I mean, it pushed the story forward between Moxley and Hangman Page. That Hangman's pretty much been dealing with this injury that he suffered a few weeks ago. He's still waiting to get cleared by the doctors. He's pretty much sitting on the sidelines waiting to get his hands on Moxley, and he goes in depth on why he's going after him because of the fact he made fun of him because of the injury. So it's like that whole dynamic going forward, but it really just it makes you more anticipated to see these two just beat the living hell out of each other, which they're going to do next week at the Forum. And I kind of like the fact that they've been putting it off for the past couple of weeks and not just doing it immediately, just telling the story and letting it elaborate a little bit. I thought it was pretty funny when Moxley dropped a couple of those F-bombs when they were going through the equipment issues, and Moxley's trying to cover up with it. Typical John Moxley type of promo. So, I mean, I love that. I like the way this whole storyline is going overall, and it should be an absolute banger of a match next week in Los Angeles.
Mitch, what did you think?
I mean, exactly what Jeff said. It forward along the story. It makes the match much more meaningful. And I always love it when Hangman Page and John Moxley have a match together. I feel like they have good chemistry. It's a very good match for the both of them. And I just can't wait for it, man. I just can't wait for it. I loved the promo. It got me hype. It really got me hype.
Yeah, Mac, what did you think?
I mean, totally agree. I mean, just getting you set up for what's going to be an absolute great banger of a match next week. Hard hitting, bloody, whatever, man. They're gonna get loose next week, man, at the Forum, man. And I'm excited, and I can't wait to see that match, man. Great build up. Just get you more anticipated for what you know is going to be a great match. Now that match may indeed be an instant classic. We will see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the match itself. You know, they kept teasing you and teasing you and teasing you and teasing you. You know, it's almost like bringing you into the room and then you know, it's like you were in a room with a stripper and you go there and you walk in and then the stripper comes out and then it comes back in.
It's an interesting analogy, Earl.
Well, I mean that's what it was. I mean that's what it was like. I mean that's what it's like. I mean it's like they kept teasing you like peekaboo and you know. So it's like you know, it's just, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. But anyway, I digress. But I agree with everyone's assessment. I agree with it. Yes, I agree with the assessment. We're going to get the match next week in the Fabulous Kia Forum, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's something that was very controversial. It was for the AEW Tag Team titles.
Oh, this is great.
This was the Acclaim taking on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Now, let me just say something about this match. First of all, love the chemistry in the ring. Jeff Jarrett is great. I thought everything was, but the ending to me was just, it was a hot mess. Because first of all, they won the tag team titles. Then Aubrey Edwards came in and said, "No, you didn't." Then the match got restarted. In the end, the Acclaim, when the smoke was cleared, are still your AEW tag team titles. So this time I'm gonna go around in a different order. Mitch, what did you make of the match?
I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty dang close to match of the night. I feel like it's like right there. But for me, for match of the night, I still got to go with the Jericho and Starks. I still feel like, but it's just like right there. It can just beat it. But that was such a good match. The ending I did not like. I'm gonna be honest though. The ending I did not like with the whole rope break thing because we see it so many times. But good match overall.
Yeah. Mac, what did you think?
See, I'm basically kind of on the same page with you guys. I think that you took a good match and you ruined it with an unnecessary ending. You know, like it wasn't necessary. We don't need the Jericho and Lethal win the match and then Aubrey come in. Oh no, 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 no! His foot was on the rope and all this. Like we don't need all of that, man. Just give us a good, clean ending, however you want to do it. But all that extra stuff sometimes, then it's like you're doing a little too much. You know, it wasn't necessary. The match was good enough already as it was. We at the end of the day, we pretty much kind of all had that feeling. We knew Acclaim was going to come out on top, but we don't need to see it in that type of a fashion. You know, they're the champions right now, and they've been defending those titles well. So let's let it, you know, keep it cleaned up, man. We don't need unnecessary WWE type ridiculous endings. You know, that's WWE type stuff.
Yeah.
AEW, stay true to yourself, man, and leave that alone. But other than that, it was a damn good match.
Yeah. Jeff, what did you think?
Can we talk about Mass Caster's rap? Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, yeah.
That was
Well, yeah. That
was incredible. When
Yeah,
I
that
heard
match-
that horn coming out and I hear the Acclaim, I run to my television, I turn it up, and I cannot wait to hear what Mass Caster has got to say. That was incredible. I actually thought that was the best part of the whole entire segment and match was Max Caster's incredible rap. That itself won the night for me. That along with the MJF segment with Bryan Danielson. But the match, I actually didn't mind it. I know what you guys are talking about, the silliness at the end with the whole angle of him taking the foot off after he got kicked out. I get it. But I actually kind of didn't mind the whole little, you know, oh my God, did they actually win the tag team titles? And then, like, you know, the refs not paying attention, and you see Aubrey Edwards coming down and eventually overruling them. I didn't actually mind that as much. I know it was stupid. I know it meant no sense. It did not need to be in there. It is WWE-like. But I actually didn't bother me at all because I thought the match was really good. And as much as Jeff Jarrett, we slammed the guy that he shouldn't be wrestling in 2023, the dude is good at getting heat. The dude is good at going out there and making people want to see him get his ass kicked. And I got to give credit for that. I love Jay Lethal. I think Jay Lethal has been one of the most underrated wrestlers in a while. But my God, that Max Caster rap was one of the best things of the entire night. That was incredible. The first line.
Hey guys, if you didn't know, Juice is a big Hobbs fan, guys.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we know that.
You don't say, Matt.
He's
You don't say.
responding to himself.
Yeah.
He created other accounts and responding to himself on my chat. Thank you.
Oh my God, jeez.
Let Juice have his moment.
I am.
Well, you know something, that the match was great, guys. The match was great. I just did not care for the ending. You know, it was just like one of those delicious pancakes with warm syrup, and then all of a sudden, instead of the syrup,
always
they put
with the food analogies. Always with the food analogies.
I mean, wait. I'm not done yet. It was just like it was just like eating a great pancake meal, and you had that warm syrup on it. But instead, they give you the warm syrup. They put the motor oil on it. I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Castro GTX, it wasn't good. Anyway, it wasn't good.
Pancakes for a while now after that one.
I had a pancake this morning. I'm not eating any for like a couple days.
So I'm sorry, guys, but that's just the way I look at it. I mean, I mean that's the way I look at it. I mean, it wasn't good. I didn't like the ending. Like Max said, it was just it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. Why couldn't you have just made him win the match clean? Why couldn't you do that? Why do you have to do that necessary, all that rigmarole? I mean, that wasn't necessary. You ruined the mystique of the match when you do that. That's the only thing that I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying.
You're getting halftime hungry, by the way. He's hungry now in the chat.
Okay, so let's talk about this next one, guys. Brian Danielson took on Tony Nese. Now, what happened after
this? This was amazing.
This was absolutely amazing. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing for my audience, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this will happen, and I know it's going to happen. Brian is going to take on MJF at Revolution, and they're going to have that Iron Man match. And I think that is going to be the greatest main event of Revolution of all time in AEW, because that is going to be a banger. That is going to be one of the best things you have ever seen. And I believe this is the first time in AEW history that they have done an Iron Man match of this magnitude. Again, the match was great. The ending was great. The way he was at the way he went after MJF was great. The interaction between the two of them was great. So the whole thing, the whole package, the whole Christmas gift was great, because this was a great way to segue into these two going after each other at Revolution. Mac, what did you think of the whole thing?
Well, I mean, like I said, I love just the respect that crowd gave Brian Danielson. I still can't get the damn name right. Brian Danielson, as he came out there, man, right in his hometown, man. Like I said, appreciate that hometown love. Go in there, you get Tony Nese out the way, quick, fast. Made it look like light work, and then just that whole promo, that whole segment, MJF coming out there, man, and getting the stage set for this Iron Man match that's going to be coming down the line it's about a month or so now. But it was just great. I mean, it left me speechless in a sense, man, because it was just absolutely amazing, man. Phenomenal, great mic work from both of these guys, man, and the build up for this match is going to be absolutely awesome, man. And
yes.
I already can't wait. I can't wait for it. I'm salivating for it already, man. I'm ready.
I would love to be I would love to be the referee in that match. I would as a wrestling fan, because as we all know, on March the 5th, when Revolution happens, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be celebrating my 3rd decade as a wrestling fan. So I love matches like this, because it makes my heart grow fonder as a wrestling fan. And I've been a wrestling fan for a very long time. And I have been to some great events in my lifetime as a wrestling fan. And it's too bad that the tickets are sold out in San Francisco, because I would definitely fly to San Francisco and watch this match in person myself. But anyway, I know that's going to be good. I know the build-up is going to be fantastic.
Can I just say something?
Mitch, go ahead. What did you think of the match, and what did you think afterwards?
The match was good. Any match with Brian Danielson in the wrestling, it's good. No promo, excellent, right? But I have one tiny issue. Maybe I'm by myself here. I'm not exactly sure how you guys are feeling about it. So MJF gets to pick Brian Danielson's opponents for each week, correct? So basically, we're going to see Brian Danielson win each one of those weeks and then lose to MJF. So I can already predict it. That's what I hate. Please.
I don't think he picks his own opponents. I think he just faces
that's what he said in the promo.
No, I thought he said he has to win all the matches.
He has to win all his matches.
He has to win all the matches leading up to it.
He has to win all his matches. And then February the 8th is when he's get his last opponent. Now he has to win consecutively. And he must win consecutively because if he doesn't, the match is off. The match is off. It's not going to happen. So MJF is not picking his opponent. This is not like what he did when he did Wardlow and when he did Cody Rhodes and all. No, this is not what it is. He has to win the stipulation is he has to win all his matches up until February the 8th. So we're gonna have to see who's its opponent's going to be. That's a good question.
All
right. Jeffrey, what did you think?
I just smile because, I mean, just the match itself was actually not bad. I think Tony Nese is a tremendous wrestler. He's obviously just in the role he's in right now. He's not going to get a whole lot of airtime because of the crowded roster, but Bryan Danielson wrestling in any match is just going to be a must-see. And I love the reaction that the home crowd, the home town gave him. It was really just an incredible reception for one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. But we are watching a wrestling prodigy right now, and how good Maxwell Jacob Friedman is. This guy is a heat magnet. The second that music hits, the crowd is going like old school wrestling where you don't hear fans chanting for this guy. They're booing the hell out of him like a heel should be booed because he's such a dick. And I love it. And I mean, the lines that MJF throws out there, this guy he's another one. When he grabs the mic, you just stop what you're doing and you listen to what MJF has got to say because it's going to be gold every time this guy comes on the mic. Like when he randomly just started yelling out to this fan, "Shut up, you fat skank." I just had to start cracking up because that came out of nowhere and I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, that only MJF can do this kind of stuff. And then like the little, I don't know if you guys caught it, the little things that Tony Schiavone was saying in the background after Bryan Danielson announced the Iron Man. He's like, "Do it, dumbass, do it." Like that whole little dynamic after the whole thing. I mean, this segment was just brilliant. I actually think it's a brilliant little storyline because what does MJF not really do? He doesn't wrestle a lot. He doesn't wrestle, very long in his matches. He's like, one of those big time attractions. I think this is a brilliant move by Bryan Danielson to challenge him to an Iron Man's match because it's the type of match that's really going to test how good of a wrestler MJF is. And if you've seen some of the past matches that Maxwell Jacob Friedman has been in, including the one he had against Jungle Boy a couple of years ago, this guy is a very good wrestler. You just have to actually watch his body of work when he's actually in the ring. But MJF is very underrated in terms of an in-ring performer. But the segment was incredible. It was, in my opinion, the best thing of the night by far. It was just incredible watching the dynamic be these two. I think it's going to be a great build-up. I'm curious to see the matchups that Bryan Danielson is going to be in. MJF just egging him on. MJF as champion has been just great. I know it's like me showering on all the love on MJF, but this guy is so incredible. A promo, a wrestler. We have been gifted to have him on this program, how good he is. And I mean, I cannot wait until the Revolution build up for this match. I mean, it's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait.
I think the crowd in Seattle was absolutely on fire last night, and I have to give them credit.
Yes.
The AEW made its debut last night in Seattle. Who most of you don't know, and the crowd was you couldn't hear yourself think if you were in that audience. They just souped up every nuance of the matches that were presented to them last night, and I loved it. I thought, and again, like I said, the match was a banger. I thought it was great. I thought the segment was great. I thought the back and forth was great. I think that when this is leading up to the actual crescendo, I think everyone is going to just love what they're going to produce in the ring. I think this Iron Man match is going to be great, and this was good. This was good for me.
I have an argument for you guys. Would you say that the MJF is the best thing? You know, he's on the level of The Rock right now, how good The Rock was in terms of his mic work. There's not a lot of people that can just command the mic at his age like The Rock did. This kid is just he's on another level. I've never seen a kid command a mic.
It's a great comparison, Jeff, man, because over the years, he's seen some great guys over the years. Like you can go to even Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair's, guys that were just, I mean, not only good in the ring, but amazing with the microphone in their hand. MJF is 1,000% on that level, man. He's gold. Picks that mic up, you know it's going to be gold. That promo is going to be fire, bro. So
yeah, but you know what's interesting though? You know what's interesting? I've been following MJF ever since, I don't know if you guys know this YouTuber named Grimm's Toy Show, because MJF was a part of that years ago. So he started there. Then he went up to did independent scenes. Then he went to NXT. You know, he was the referee doing that famous segment, or he got pushed to the side. And then now it's here. So I witnessed his whole career being shot up. And this is something I'm never going to forget.
It's so funny how WWE had Sammy Guevara, Ricky Starks, and MJF under their wing, and they did not take advantage of these three incredibly gifted young talents. And now look at what they're doing on AEW. They are unbelievable.
You want me to
unbelievable?
You want to get me started with Sasha Banks?
Well, we could talk about that whole disaster. Well, I mean, I'm hearing rumors that Sasha might be coming back in the future to the WWE.
I heard that she's going to be in AEW next week.
Who the hell knows at this point? Who really knows?
Monet. It's Mercedes Monet.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people on Twitter was roasting Tony Khan because they wanted her to be the mystery opponent. But you know, listen. It doesn't matter who the mystery opponent is. I mean, the match is going to be great. The tag team match is going to be great. I'm not going to jump up and down about who the mystery opponent is. I mean, okay, Carter Sheeta should have been the one, but she's not. So I mean, okay, so be it. You know, it happens. Let's talk about this one for a second because this match was good too. This left me breathless. Swerve Strickland took on AR Fox. Now, AR Fox, ladies and gentlemen, is a brand new superstar in AEW. And his in-ring work is absolutely phenomenal. Now, he matched move for move with Swerve Strickland. Now, the ending was a little weird because I don't know what was passed to Swerve Strickland to wipe AR Fox in the face with. I don't know what it was. I can't. Somebody asked me on Twitter. They said, Earl, you know, like what was that? I said, I don't know. He looked lethargic after it happened. But the match was great. The match was fantastic. I had no issues with the match whatsoever. I thought the chemistry was great. The athleticism was great. The moves were great. The crowd they just wanted more. They wanted more. They wanted more. They wanted more. And I wanted more. I wish the match would have lasted a lot longer than it did, but that's just my opinion. That's my opinion and my opinion only. But Mitch, what did you think of the match?
Earl, you took everything I was about to say. I was just going to say the same exact thing you did. I mean, perfectly said.
What else is it? See, that's what happened. That's what happens, Mitch, when you and I are best friends for almost 8 years. Mitch, that's what happens. Yeah. Great minds think alike. Pretty much. So, okay, well, that's nothing I can say, but I'm just gonna move over to my co-pilot of the Royal Watch Along, Jeffrey. What did you think of the match?
Well, I love the little backstory they had between these two guys where they talked about AR Fox being somewhat of a mentor to Swerve Strickland back when they were in the independent scene. So I like that little storytelling they had. I mean, who's been one of the better guys on AEW recently than Swerve? I mean, this dude. Remember when they used to talk about him being something different in NXT? This dude is something different. His talent, his charisma. This dude is the type of guy that could become another breakout star in AEW. And I mean, we talk about what's going on with that group over there on SmackDown right now, Hit Row, and why they're not good. It's because of that man that's sitting over there in AEW right now. And his name is Swerve Strickland. But AR Fox, another one of those great indie guys that finally gets his opportunity to be able to showcase his talents on television. He was brilliant. I thought Swerve was great as always. I'm still curious to find out where they're coming up with this dynamic with, the two guys they have on the outside, the former Harland. The name is Parker Boudreaux, as well as the other guy who they still haven't named who he is, how their affiliation is with Swerve. I think it's a very oddball pairing. I mean, I've heard people saying that maybe they should put him with Private Party, because Private Party is brilliant and why these guys aren't on television. But I heard that Mark Quinn is dealing with an injury right now, so hopefully he gets healthy. But that would have been a great pairing to put with Swerve, because I think their dynamics are very similar. But the match itself was good. I love the backstory they had. AR Fox is a tremendous wrestler. Swerve is just another one of those guys. So much talent, so much charisma. I hope they circle back with him and Keith Lee going back, with their storyline going forward. And I loved it. I thought this was one of the best matches of last night. And I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to do going forward. And hopefully they give a little bit more of a backstory with this other guy, along with Parker Boudreaux, and why they're affiliated with Swerve going forward. But the match was great.
Mac, what did you think?
I definitely agree with Jeff. This match was to me was kind of a banger, man. This match was really good. You could tell guys that have great chemistry together. You could tell these guys have worked. Swerve and AR have worked a lot together. It was just clear, as a wrestling fan, it was obvious. These guys had amazing chemistry in the ring together. And it is good to see a guy like AR getting some TV, getting some love on the national TV scene, man, because he's a very talented individual in the ring. And Swerve, to me, and I've been saying this even back with some of the work he was doing when he first was with Hit Row in WWE, he's an underrated, amazing heel. I mean, it's just he doesn't get the heel love that he should get. I feel like he's starting to become really one of those top heels. He's just a really, really good bad guy. That's why initially when he came to AEW and he was kind of a baby face a little bit, I was like, I gotta turn Swerve back to a heel, man. Swerve is a good heel. Some guys are just meant to be heels, and Swerve embraces that, man. And I just hope they keep going forward with it. These two big guys he's with, I can kind of work with that, man. It's kind of interesting. It's something different, man. The tattoo face guy, the guy with all the tattoos, nobody seems to know who the hell he is. I mean, it's I think it's pretty cool. I like Swerve as a bad guy and as a leader of a faction. So I appreciate it, man. He's also just really gifted in the ring, man. Very, very gifted, very athletic. Does a lot of cool spots, man, when he's in matches. And once again, he's another one that WWE really just screwed the pooch on, man. Vince McMahon, way to go, buddy.
Well, you're absolutely right, Mac. You are so right.
Here's the thing. When you have valuable toys, and you don't know how to use the valuable toy, somebody else is going to come along and read the instructions and know exactly what to do with it. So that's the thing with Vince McMahon. He has valuable toys, but he doesn't read the instructions on what to do with it. And then that's an issue, because then somebody else comes along and says, "Aha, I got potential here. Let me use it. Let me utilize it." And then that's his mistake. That's his mistake. And then when you have that potential and you put it on television and it's prominent on television, then all of a sudden you look back and you say, "I should have never let him go." Well, it's your fault, man. You don't know what to do with the valuable toy. Somebody else does. Somebody else will know what to do with it.
I agree with Mac, though. 100%. I agree with you, Mac, on the fact that this dude is so underrated a heel. I mean, if it wasn't for that guy named Maxwell Jacob Friedman in AEW, I would argue that Swerve is one of the best heels. His charisma is like this crazy lunatic type personality he's been bringing out ever since he feuded against the Acclaim and the whole storyline they were doing with him and Keith Lee. This guy is so good. I mean, you could tell Hit Row is not the same without Swerve in that group. Swerve made that group as good as they were. He is so underrated talent. He did. I don't care if you turn Hit Row heel or babyface. They're still not good. There's nobody in that group that has the charisma of what Swerve Scott has. This guy is so brilliant in his character that he throws out there. I just don't know we know why WWE does what they do under the Vince McMahon regime. So, I mean, how you let a guy like this go with his incredible gifted talent? This guy's a world champion.
Well, what did I just say? What did I just say 2 seconds ago? If you don't know what to do with a valuable person like Swerve Strickland and everybody else in the WWE, somebody will come along and tap into that potential and create new stars, which is what WWE is supposed to be doing. But unfortunately, they go back to the same people over and over and over and over again. And before you know it, don't get me started with that.
Yeah.
Is anyone listening, bro?
Yeah.
I can't believe Charlotte Flair is
over the garbage.
I'm just laughing because we all knew it was going to happen, Jeff. We all knew that was going to happen.
I don't like the way it happened. It's not the way it happened.
I challenge you to a match. Okay, 1 minute and a half later, I'm the new champion. Bye-bye, SmackDown Women's Division.
By a fruit roll-up.
Let me
Ronda could not get her arm off the mat. It was a fruit roll-up.
They could have at least had the match later on in the show, at the very least.
But here's the thing, guys. I know this is an AEW show. We're going to pump the brakes here a minute, but I'm going to get back to the match in a minute. But let me just say something, and I'm going to say this publicly, and I've said this last week on the Raw Watch Along. You know, if you wanted a new champion, why in the world could you not have given it to Raquel Rodriguez? Why did you have to bury her? Why did you make Ronda squash her? Why did you do that? And then on top of it, you made Ronda look bad. Then you made Raquel look bad. The whole match was bullshit.
That's putting it nicely.
I mean, that's the first time I ever heard Earl say that word, and I've known him for almost.
I've heard him say it.
No, that's my first time.
He's right.
The whole. I mean, come on.
I know what you meant. It's good. I know you meant. I'm kind of shocked that you said that word.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize because you're absolutely right. It was bullshit.
It was terrible.
It was the wrong booking.
You just shat on your entire women's division by doing what you did on SmackDown because you want Charlotte Flair to be faster than her father to get the record in terms of championships. What the hell sense does that make? You just had Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi Blackheart, Xia Li, Aaliyah, no matter what you think of her, Tegan Knox, Liv Morgan. How about Liv Morgan? How do you think she feels with the fact that she cashed in the damn Money in the Bank briefcase and beat Ronda, and you have Charlotte Flair come back for 2 seconds, and she friggin' rolls up Ronda after Ronda stupidly accepts the challenge. 2 seconds later,
it was the worst booking decision I have ever seen on network television SmackDown. It was the wrong booking decision. It sent the wrong message. You're trying to
comment too. Mercedes has peaked, everybody. Mercedes Varnado has peaked in WWE, yet Charlotte hasn't. Wow.
It's just
it was just garbage.
Charlotte's been out since May. You bring her back, this big ovation. Oh, Charlotte Flair's back, and just slap the title right back on her. Here you go, Charlotte. Walk back in the door. You've been back in here for 2 minutes, and you get the damn belt again. You get to be the champion again. Forget everybody else has been here busting their ass for the last X amount of months while you've been out. We're just gonna
Exactly.
put the title right back on you because that's what we like to do here in WWE. We
First
like to
of
give
all,
Charlotte Flair the title every time.
When I heard that music and I saw her come, I'm like, oh no, it's coming. She's getting that title.
and let me just explain something. First of all, you insulted every woman in the SmackDown locker room. What you're basically saying is that nobody in that women's locker room is worthy of being a champion. The only person you want to revert back to is Charlotte. Charlotte is not the Charlotte is not the end all to be all. She's not going to give you ratings. She's not anything else. And that babyface turn was absolutely lame. The whole thing was lame. The whole thing sucked ass. It was not a good booking decision.
That
I'm
was
not
like a
happy
Vince
with
McMahon
it.
move. That seemed like a Vince McMahon kind of move. You know what I mean?
You know what Charlotte did? Charlotte pretty much could have gone like this, right to the entire SmackDown women's division, because that's what she did. She stuck up her middle finger to the entire division, like, I've been gone since May. I'm going to walk right back in. And even though all you women have done, like Matt just said, and like Earl just said, I'm just going to walk right back in. I'm going to come back with this great, supposed wonderful return, walk right back in, and get my title back. And that's exactly what they did, because it's Charlotte Flair. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Mercedes Varnado has peaked. She's hit her peak at 30, yet Charlotte, who's 38 years old, it can still keep winning championships. You're kidding me, right? That was the dumb. Vince McMahon must have booked that one, because I don't think Triple H is that stupid to do something like that.
All right, so back to AEW.
Sorry.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
you guys are fine.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and welcome to the Hardcore Sports Network. I'm Earl Cole. That is Jeffrey Turner. That is Mitch Kofsky, and that is MacDaGiantsFan. We are here tonight for the Wrestling Experience. Please hit that like button. Hit the like button on Jeffrey's channel. Hit the like button on Mitch's channel. Hit the like button on MacDaGiantsFan, and please hit the like button on the Hardcore Sports Network. And please subscribe to all of our channels. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on. Let's roll on here. Now, this match, I don't know. It was like a shoelace. It was very thin, not any finesse to it. It was just vanilla for me. It's like eating a cake without sugar. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't doing anything. Jay Cargill and Red Velvet versus Kira Hogan and Sky Blue. The match was mid. And it was, I wasn't a fan of it. It left, I don't know. Something was missing from the match. I don't know. The ladies just don't have that finesse. I don't know why. But when it comes to these tag team women's matches, it just something is missing from that formula. And I don't know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot describe it to you. But this match was okay for what it was. I mean, it was okay. I'm not going to say it was the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm not going to say it was a classic. I'm not going to say it was good. It was okay. So I'm just going to.
I think you're being nice. I think you're being nice.
I think you're being very kind.
Listen.
If ever a match was forgettable on that card, it was this one.
You know what it's missing? It's missing relevancy, because nobody cares.
Right. I'm going to be as cotton candy, fluffy, and cute as I can possibly give it to you. It was okay. It was okay. It was almost like, it's like a dryer and a washing machine met, and it just didn't mix. It was just not good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't good. It was just okay. So, Mitch, what did you think of the match?
All right, I'm gonna say this, okay? So I think it was like a garbage can, picking up the match and put it into the truck. So that's basically what the match was for me. Honestly, it wasn't good in my opinion at all. Basically it. Garbage.
Oh, okay. Mac, what did you think?
I think this match was absolutely terrible. I do. I think that because you go into this match, you know damn well Kiera Hogan and Sky Blue or whatever Sky Blue. Yeah, you know they have. She has. You know they have no chance of winning this thing.
Right.
For whatever reason, they got. I mean, they've got Jay Cargill on this Goldberg like on this streak where it just seems like no woman can beat her. And obviously, you know, those definitely weren't going to be the women to beat her, to pin her. There was that one moment at the end, looks like Kiera Hogan's going to actually get a pin on Jay Cargill. Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to happen. I mean, this match was just pointless. And I think Stephen Andrews put it best. Definitely was the bathroom break of the night. Right there, you know, go get up, go take a smoke break, whatever you like to do. This match was absolutely pointless to me, and it was the only one match on the card last night that was just like, why do we have to suffer through this? Why'd you even add? Why would you mix this match in with all these other good matches that were here tonight on this card tonight? It's just, at what point is Jay Cargill gonna, you know, get a chink in that armor? I mean, I'm kind of over it right now at this point. You need to get somebody in there that can be a legitimate contender to her and finally end this ridiculous streak she got going on, because like I said, I'm over it, man. I'm kind of bored with it right now, to be quite frank.
I got a person, and she's injured right now, unfortunately, and that's Chris Statlander.
Yeah. Jeffrey, what did you make of the match?
Well, I mean, I don't care about this little thing they have going on between Red Velvet and Jay Cargill that Velvet's been teasing the past couple of weeks. They've been teasing these two, like, you know, having dissension between one another. I still don't get the whole point, like, where Kiera Hogan was part of the baddies this entire time, then all of a sudden Layla Gray comes out of nowhere because Red Velvet got hurt, and she automatically just gets inserted into the baddies just out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden you have her getting kicked out at the last pay-per-view of Full Gear. And then you have this thing with her and Red Velvet because Jade's trying to, like, show off her dominance and Red Velvet's not, quote-unquote, holding her weight. So, I mean, would you just stop teasing it already and just have these two break up already? I don't care about Jay Cargill. I actually was shocked that Seattle was cheering Jay Cargill so much in this match. I mean, I think Jay Cargill, honestly, she looks great. She has a phenomenal physique. She has that intimidating look. But I just don't care for Jay Cargill. I don't care for this Goldberg-like streak. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. Can we just please get that damn title off of her? But like you said, Mac and Earl and Mitch, who the hell is credible right now to take off that title? You could have said Jamie Hayter, but she's right now the AEW Women's champion. And obviously Sheeta or Toni Storm not going to be involved. Can you get Athena back involved in this? But I know she's at the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. God, I hope Chris Statlander comes back soon, because that's the woman that can finally get this damn title off of Jade. It's Statlander. She was going to be the woman that was going to get that title off of her, but unfortunately she tore her ACL again on the other knee.
Well, what about Ruby Soho?
I don't think it's going to be Soho. I don't know if they believe in Soho to be the one to finally be able to. I mean, you look at Soho right now. Is it believable enough that Soho can beat somebody like Jay Cargill? I'd love to see it, because Soho is a terrific in-ring performer, but I don't know if she has, like, you know, that look and that charisma and all together to be able to beat her.
How about if they do if Sasha Banks does?
I was just about to say that.
I mean, she's somebody. That's a name that has credibility in the industry, in the women's wrestling. You know what I mean? That I don't think you can just you bring her in. I'm not sure you could really sell me on Jay Cargill just knocking off somebody with the resume of Sasha Banks or whatever her name wants to be now, Mercedes
Moné, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, not to cut you off, Mac. I apologize for that. Let me just say something. First of all, I just wish everybody would stop comparing Jay Cargill to Goldberg, Because first of all, at least she can last in the ring and she doesn't have to drag around an oxygen tank. Okay? Goldberg cannot last. His stamina is so low. I
Yeah, but
don't
he
even
beat the
think.
Fiend a couple of years ago for the championship. Remember
No,
that?
I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
comparing her to
Oh,
Goldberg per
yeah.
se. I'm just
Oh.
Oh,
talking
come
about the
on.
streak. When Goldberg first came in to WCW back in the day, and he had that ridiculous streak that went on for like over a year or whatever before he finally lost his first match. I mean, her streak's been going on longer than his now, to be quite frank. So
I
I'm not
mean, yeah,
comparing her
no,
in the ring. I'm not talking about how they work in the ring. I'm just talking about just like, come on, man.
It's not
I
relevant.
mean,
There's no
listen,
relevancy to it.
listen, guys. I just want you all to understand something. If a booker or a owner of a company loves somebody so much, like Tony Khan loves Jay Cargill, they're not gonna lose that belt anytime soon.
Nope.
Charlotte
So
Flair. The next Charlotte Flair. Jay
yeah,
Cargill.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, unless the relationship turns sour and and he decides that I'm going to pull the plug on her, I don't see Jade Cargill losing that title anytime soon. She is she's
Wonderful.
relevant. She's
Wonderful.
relevant. She's relevant. She's powerful. She she's improving week a little bit here and there in the ring. She used to be as green as goose shit when she first started, but she has improved and she has an undefeated streak. So you can't overgloss her resume. You just can't. So Tony Khan must love her so much that he wants to keep the title on her, and I'm just telling you that, guys. When somebody is loved and revered like Jay Cargill is with Tony Khan, they're not going to go anywhere with that belt. That belt is not going to go anywhere. You can put up a brick wall against her, and it's not going to do any good.
I
So
mean, I agree, Earl, to in a sense, but I think part of it is also, I mean, we do look at Jade Cargill. She looks like a damn superhero in comparison to pretty much all the other women in AEW. So I
Yeah.
mean, maybe that's part of it, where they just feel like we can't really just sell you anybody coming in here and beating this woman. But at the same time, the undefeated thing, man, it's this undefeated streak. It's other women working hard, man. They put that work in, and it's like it's
but that's
enough is enough. It's just enough is
but,
enough already.
but that's what I'm trying to tell you, Mac. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can put a brick wall against her. It doesn't matter. You can work hard. Let me tell you something, man. If you had a female wrestler, if you are a manager and you had a female wrestler and you went to Tony Khan and you said, now this woman it has it and she can defeat Jay Cargill, do you know what Tony Khan would tell you in the room? She's not losing that belt. She's going to go down in flames. That's
Not if it was
exactly
Britt
what.
Baker.
uh,
Britt Baker would probably beat her.
Well, I mean, we have to see because as of late, Tony Khan is not in love with Britt Baker, and he
And
likes Jay Cargill. So
and
I
for what
mean,
it's worth, if you do, I'm sorry, Earl, but if you feel that
listen,
strongly about Jade, then why is she still not in the mix for the women's world title as opposed to just
well,
being the TNT champion?
yeah, I mean that's a good question.
Because she
That's a
would
good
easily
question.
overshadow everybody else in that women's division, no matter who it is. Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa if she comes back, Ricky Shida, Saraya if she ever gets involved with that women's title, Britt Baker. Because you look at Jade Cargill, she's like an intimidating figure, like you said. It's like she's the second coming of China. That's what it looks like. She's the second coming of China right now in wrestling, with just her look alone. Who really has the believability to go in there? It's like everybody else in that ring is like a Riho or a Kairi Sane, or like, a Liv Morgan going up against a Jade Cargill. Who really looks believable enough to take down Jade Cargill in that women's division? So I think
Well,
they're
I
doing
mean,
it purposely to keep her away from that world title, because when they know she goes after it, she's not losing.
right, and the thing is that, and another thing too is that, um, I mean, there's a Carter Ishida. I mean, she could be in the TBS champ. I mean, she can be. there is potential there.
Oh, she easily could be. She's tremendous. She
I
is
mean,
great.
she could be somebody that could dethrone. But again, like I said before, and I'll say it again, if somebody's revered like Jade Cargill, they're not gonna lose that title. She has not lost on pay per view yet. She has not. She has defeated every single woman that has been put in front of her on the pay per view, and that's the truth.
You got to build somebody up to get to that point to be able to beat her. Either you bring in somebody that's a major player in the free agent market that could be the person to take her down, or you build somebody else up in that women's division that eventually they get to the point and they take her on and they're the one that take her down. Like with Roman Reigns. You talk about Roman Reigns being champion for so long, and we're waiting to finally see who's going to be the one to finally take Roman Reigns down because it's the same way. I know it's a different, aspect, but Roman Reigns has been built so dominant. He's pretty much run through everybody in the WWE in terms of the WWE and World Universal Championship. Who is going to be that person that is built up to eventually take him down? It's the same thing with Jade Cargill. Who are you going to build up and give them credibility enough to finally be the one to take her down? I really believe it was going to be Chris Statlander until she got hurt.
Well, I'm going to tell you this too. I'm going to say this again, Jeffrey, and I'm going to repeat this again. Just like Roman Reigns, just like Jade Cargill, if you are loved and revered by management, you're not dropping that title anytime soon. And that is the truth.
I got to respectfully disagree. I think if you're talking about business aspect of things, you've got to do what's best for the business and build up somebody to eventually take that person down, because you can't have somebody be champion forever.
No, I understand that, Jeffrey. I understand that. I hear you loud and clear.
No, I know.
I hear you loud and clear. I understand. I want to see a new champion too, but you have to understand the business aspect of the side of the thing. If you think that if you like this person so much and they bringing you the revenue, the money, the merchandise, the this and the that, you are going to keep them as champion, and as long as you see fit.
What's her merch sales like? Is she a hot seller in AEW?
Yes, she does. Yes, she is.
Then it makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if the person is bringing you money every week in the revenue, on the pay-per-view, on the television, on the this and the that, and you say to yourself, I got gold here, there's no way she's going to lose the title. There's just absolutely no way. Now, if she was not liked by the fans and she didn't connect with the audience, then we have a different story and then we have a different conversation. Now we're going to have to build up somebody else to fill that slot in so that we can save ourselves. But if the person is revered by somebody else and they're giving them the gold and the money and the bags and everything else, they're not going to go anywhere as champion.
Can you imagine if we had this discussion when Bruno Sammartino had those long title runs?
Yes, Mitch.
Well, he didn't wrestle a lot. He wrestled once or twice in a year. So he's not on the road a whole lot like these WWE.
I know, but I'm just saying, put that here.
Right.
This social media to tear that apart.
Yeah, but that was a different era. I mean, I think it's hard to compare. I mean, that era was completely different.
People now will just tear that to shreds if that happened here.
I know how Adam feels about Roman Reigns' title reign.
There's so much more talent now, you know what I mean? And the fact that Jade Cargill is literally still the only TBS champion that has ever existed, it's just at what point does somebody else get to taste that title?
It's gotta be Sasha Banks. If she AEW, it's gotta be Sasha Banks.
Right.
Do you think they created that title specifically for her? That mid-card title specifically for her?
It almost seems like they have. Yeah. I mean, it really does. No one else has even really come that close to getting that belt around their waist. She's been the only TBS champion ever so far. So.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we are on the train and we arrived at the last stop.
Should we talk about the thing that happened with Tony Storm being picked as Saraya's
yes. Okay. Before we go to the main, before we go to the main event, Jeffrey's absolutely right. Let's talk about this mystery opponent. Now, let me just bring everybody the backstory. For weeks on Dynamite, we have been teased as to who Saray's opponent was. Mystery opponent. Because there is a tag team match that's going to happen next week on Dynamite from the Fabulous Kia Forum, which by the way is 79% sold. It's almost sold out. Um, it, it, so last night on Dynamite, the mystery opponent was revealed. Jeffrey, what did you make of the mystery opponent?
Oh, I think it's a red herring. I don't think it's Tony Storm. I think they did that on purpose because you have been promoting this entire time, and you really are going to make the fans believe that, oh, I'm picking Tony Storm. That's it. Not like just like throw it out there just to make like the fans think that that's the person. We all saw what Hikaru Shida was doing. She gave that look like, excuse me? Like she gave that look over on the side, like you didn't even acknowledge me in this whole thing, and you picked her over me. I really believe that unless they're really going with Tony Storm, Sheeta's turning heel soon, and I think Sheeta is either going to attack Tony Storm in the back before the match, and then you're going to have Saraya going out there on her own, taking on Baker and Hayter, and then you're going to have somebody else come out to make the save or join her as a tag team partner because it just seems too much of a red herring. There's just no way you're going to just bring up all this hype and all of a sudden just say, oh, by the way, it's Tony Storm in a sit-down interview without like any type of, cliffhanger or anything. I just 100% believe it's going to be a red herring. I'm not saying it's going to be Mercedes Moné. It could be somebody else. I've heard rumors it could be Mandy Rose. They could come in and be that mystery partner, so you never know. But I just don't think it's going to be Tony Storm. I believe that this is just a little bit of like a tease for you thinking it's going to be Tony Storm, but in the end, they're going to give you somebody else because Sheeta, I believe, is going to turn heel and knock her out of this before the match is going to go.
Just to give you a definition, Jeffrey, please explain to the audience what a red herring is.
It's pretty much like they're going to throw out somebody else that you think is going to be the person that's going to be involved in the match or like involved in something, but it's actually going to be somebody else. So they just throw you out a little bit of like a cliffhanger, a tease or something to make you believe it's something, but in reality, it's another thing altogether. So it's just like to get the casuals all hooked up. We as like, the people that know the wrestling business, we know something is up. And there's no way that it's going to be, it can't be Tony Storm. There's got to be something else behind this.
Mitch, what did you think?
So first off, when I want to circulate to Dr. Britt Baker because when she was like, I'm the boss. I mean, I thought that was like foreshadowing, as you will. I think it's like for Sasha Banks and everything. So I think it really is Mercedes Moné there. And then Carl Sheeta with that expression, something's going to go down. Something has to go down. And then Mercedes Moné is going to pop out. Because I don't know about you guys, but I was watching a Mercedes Verado interview. I think it was like a couple weeks ago. It was with Chris Van Fleet, whatever that guy's name is. And they were Paige was actually talking about being tag teams with Mercedes Moné. So,
Mac, what did you?
I think
these guys hit the nail on the head, man. Already, like that side eye Hikaru Shida gave them when I'll just make the quote. I'll just read the quote. Since coming to AEW, I have learned we have the best female roster in the world. I'm sitting next to the best wrestler in the world. So that means, Tony, you're going to be my partner. And that side eye Shida Hikaru gave her, that was just telling. Shida is going to just take Tony Storm out before that match has a chance to get started. And like you said, Jeff, this is if ever a moment for a big spot to bring out Sasha, Mercedes, whatever we're calling her now. That's the moment right there, man. That's going to be the moment. That's going to get a huge pop. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly how it's going to go down. We're going to find out next week. That's how it's going to go down, though, man. I don't see it playing out so smoothly where it's just going to be this match, Paige and Tony Storm. Saraya and Tony Storm against Britt Baker
Here's another thing too.
The damn
Jimmy Hater.
Jimmy Hater. I forgot her fucking name for a second. But this is not no way. There's no way it's going to be that smooth.
No. Could it be Thunder Rosa?
No, that's not going to go over well. I don't think it's going to go over as well. We're expecting a big surprise.
I mean, she is.
I mean, she's supposed to be.
No, I don't recommend it, but I'm just saying.
They're expecting it to be. They're expecting it to be Mercedes. You're dropping all those hints and everything. And I heard Thunder Rosa's not going to be ready until February. She's still ways away from recovering.
So could it be Mandy Rose then? I actually do like that, Jeff.
Let me just say something here, fellas. Let me say something here. I think a lot of people miss this in the promo, and I want you all to understand something. A lot of people don't do this, but I do. When it comes to people and having conversations with people, I read body language. Now, I want you all to know that when she was talking about the best women in wrestling and the way she was doing it like coyly, and she was doing it shyly, she was not trying to give away the surprise. And you can see in the body language, she knows something is up. She knows something is up, but she can't let the cat out of the bag. So that's why she said, "Oh yeah, well yeah, you Tony Storm, yeah, you." So I was reading the body language and I was like, okay, I know it's not Tony Storm. That is not your partner.
No.
And I picked up on it right away when she was doing it.
Now, I got a question for you guys. Do you think that if it is in fact Mercedes, do you think that she's going to sign long term? Because there's rumors going out there that she might not be going to AEW, and that WWE officials believe that she's still eventually going to go back to WWE because of the fact that she's just going through this quote-unquote phase right now, and that eventually she'll make her way back to WWE because Naomi is apparently on her way back to WWE, and that they believe the same thing about Sasha Banks. So
yeah, but here's the thing, Jeff. They took Sasha Banks off of the roster page. I'm just saying.
Did they recently do that? And she did say thank you to everybody, too, recently.
And somebody made a good point in the chat earlier. If Vince McMahon taking back over, coming back and taking things over, there's no way she's getting anywhere near WWE with Vince McMahon.
So
let me just say this, fellas. Let me just say something here. If you work for a company and they fired you, or you quit, or you walked out, okay, and then all of a sudden the company is bashing you, why would you want to return to that kind of a company? Let me just say something here. If I was her, I would never return to the WWE because, first of all, Michael Cole came on the air and talked about how Sasha Banks was unprofessional and she was wrong. And then everybody took the pitchfork and sort of like followed his lead. Oh, she was unprofessional. She was this. She was a diva. We couldn't work with her. She was nasty. So why would you want to go back to that kind of environment? Not for me. It would not be for me. Because first of all, like she said, nobody respect her wishes in WWE. Nobody did. She was burnt out. Nobody listened to that. Everybody was just pushing her to work. Even though she asked for days off, they didn't care about her feelings. They didn't care about her mental health. They didn't care about anything. So why would you want to go back to a company who don't give a flying fig about you or your mental health or your body?
I'll tell you why, Earl. I'll tell you why. Because it's a different regime. If Vince McMahon, in fact, does not come back, and Triple H and his regime were the ones that developed and put Sasha Banks over as big of a star as she was. Remember, you could argue she had the greatest women's match all time in that TakeOver Brooklyn match she had against Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship many, many years ago. And Triple H knows how valuable Sasha Banks is. Plain and simple, Sasha don't need WWE. She doesn't. She's bigger than the WWE now. She's a marketable star that can go anywhere she wants, and she could become a big deal. Whereas in WWE, she has a bunch of other people, and you could argue she's either third or fourth amongst the horsewomen. Because no matter what, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair are going to be number 1 and 2 because you know how management feels about those two. If Ronda's around, she's probably number 3. You could even argue she's 1. And then you could flip a coin between her and Bayley. We already know how bad Bayley looks right now with that Damage Control faction. Earl, you and I complain about it pretty much on a weekly basis, how much Damage Control has become irrelevant right now on television. But it's because only reason why she would go back is because she loves Triple H. She has confidence in what Triple H is going to do with this product. There's still women on that roster she would love to work with, like a Tegan Knox, a Dakota Kai, a Mia Yim, a Liv Morgan. Some of the people coming up from the NXT roster, like a Roxanne Perez or a Cora Jade, or like a Kiana James, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, like some of these other women that are there. Tiffany Stratton, Nikita Lyons, like those types of women she would love to be able to work with. And because she has so much respect for Triple H, and that's the only reason why I believe she would come back, is if Triple H and the new regime somehow remains in charge and Vince McMahon does not take over that wrestling promotion. Vince is coming back, and we'll talk about that, like you said, a little later. If he is coming back, it's going to be a you-know-what show over there in WWE, and absolutely she shouldn't come back. She does not need to come back. WWE needs her more than she needs WWE. And the only reason why I think she would come back is because she has so much love for what WWE did for her in terms of making her a big star, and a lot of it has to do with what Triple H and his regime and his people did at NXT to put her in the position where she is now.
Well, here's the thing. And I'm not sure which outlet this was. I'm not sure which wrestling company it was. But they did speak to Triple H did an article. Okay, he says that he did try to call Sasha Banks. He did try to smooth things over, but he says right now the damage has been done. The rift is too big for the two of them to even try to patch up. I mean, they've tried everything to entice her to come back. Smaller dates, smaller this, a smaller contract. But the damage is done. They bashed her. The regime bashed her. And another thing too is because Bruce Pritchard is still with the WWE, Sasha wouldn't even go back there. She don't even like Bruce Pritchard. She wouldn't even want to work with him. I mean, he was the guy who really and truly put the screws to Sasha Banks. He really was. So I don't think she wants to go back there unless they get rid of him and they put somebody else in there new. I don't think she would ever even want to touch WWE again. Because she cannot stand Bruce Pritchard. She can't.
Yeah, but Bruce Pritchard's in a minor role. He's not in the position he was before. You have William Regal now coming in, who's now a vice president in terms of talent relations and like scouting talent, and we all know how much we like William Regal and what the work he's been doing.
Yes.
Pritchard's like a minor guy in that whole system. He's not relevant enough like he was before under Vince. So, and there's no more John Laurinaitis too. Remember, he got fired as well. He's gone.
Right. So I mean,
people power.
It needs unless the entire the management office gets a whitewash and gets washed out of Vince's regime, she won't be going back there. I don't think she'd be going. In my opinion, I don't think she'd be going back there. But again, but again, like I said, things you never know what could happen in wrestling. You just never know.
I think she'll go back. I think she'll go back eventually, but she's not going to go back immediately. She doesn't need WWE. She doesn't. She doesn't need to crawl back to WWE for money. Look at what she's doing. Look at the buzz she's gotten since she showed up in New Japan for that stare-in she had with Kairi Sane or Kairi, whatever
Yeah.
they're calling her in New Japan. So she's
Right.
getting as much buzz, and look at the press she's giving to New Japan. Sleeping Angels just put it in the chat. You know, the type of merchandise and like the sale of tickets that are going right now for that February 18th show at San Jose for that New Japan show when she's going to take on Kairi for that championship. They're selling like hotcakes. She's doing just fine on the independent scene, and you don't think it's going to be a major boost to AEW if you could bring in friggin' Sasha Banks into that company?
I'm going to tell you something. If they do hire her and AEW signs her, I hope that they book her correctly. I hope that she's happy there. I hope she likes the environment because, like William Regal said, the reason why he left AEW is because the place looked like Sesame Street. The people there are not mature. Yep. So we'll see. We will see. We will monitor it definitely. Okay, guys, this is a feel-good story, and this is the main event of Dynamite. We finally arrived at the main event, ladies and gentlemen. And last night's main event was a feel-good story. Darby Allin came home to Seattle, Washington, and he took on Samoa Joe. Now, Samoa Joe attacked a 16-year-old wrestling prodigy in the audience. To start the match off, Samoa Joe dominated Allin most of the match. But in the end, Darby Allin found the intestinal fortitude necessary to overcome that and become the new champion. And the crowd went bananas, to say the least. The new arena almost collapsed. That is how loud the crowd was. I gave this match Diamond AAA Gold. This was absolutely fabulous. This was a great way to close out AEW Dynamite. I loved it. Great main event. Loved it. A across the board for me. I had no issues with this match. Good stuff. Good times. Mitch, what did you think?
It was a very good moment, especially him with Sting. I feel like that was a really good moment. Good way to end off the night. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And there was no Orange Cassidy. Yay! There was no Orange Cassidy.
He knew you were watching, Mitch, so I called him I called him the night before. I texted him, Mitch, just for you.
I'm buying you a Freshly Squeezed t-shirt, by the way.
Jeff, I couldn't hear you. What?
I'm buying you a Freshly Squeezed t-shirt.
Oh.
I thought you were buying me a picture-in-picture.
No.
Mac, what did you think of the match?
What did I think of this match? I think this match was just as much as the Jericho and Ricky Starks match was a hell of a way to kick off the first Dynamite of the year. This match was a great way to end the first Dynamite of the year. I mean, we had the match before the match. Darby Allin, that spot, he went climb that ladder and drop down on Samoa Joe.
Oh my God.
That was absolutely nuts, yo. Like that whole spot in the beginning before the bell even rang, that was incredible all in itself. And then we get to the actual match itself where, like you said, Samoa Joe controlled most of this match, honestly. But then Darby Allin, man, he finds a way to pull this thing out in his hometown. And I honestly didn't think they were going to put the title back on Darby, and even though he was at home. I thought it was going to be that, like, you wanted to happen, but it just wasn't going to happen. I love the fact that Sting hung in the back until after the match was over, let Darby go at it by himself, you know, and handle his business out there in his hometown, get all the hometown love that he deserved. And it was just it was an awesome match, man. I love the fact that he didn't rest on his laurels with the first coffin drop. He said, "You know what? I got to go up there and hit him again hit him with another coffin drop, and just finish this match." This match was absolutely awesome, and it was a great way to end the show, man. And I absolutely loved every minute of this match, man. I'm a big Darby Allin fan anyway. I love a guy that puts it all on the line like that. I just love it.
Jeffrey, what did you think?
Well, first off, I think Darby Allin is out of his goddamn mind with some of the moves he did. Like Mac just said, I mean, that move off the ladder, I mean, if there's nobody else that just would just throw his body all over the place just for the hell of it, like Darby Allin does, and then that spot where
he's the modern day Jeff Hardy,
and he's like this small little guy too, and he's taking that nasty bump he took off the steel steps after Joe like Uranagi'd him right on the steps. I like cringed when he hit the back of his back right on the steps. He is out of his damn mind. I mean, it's a great moment. I love Darby, too. He's one of the best young talents on that roster. And also, like, real quickly, how about AEW having all the homegrown stars having their titles now? Jade Cargill, TBS. You have Jamie Hayter with the women's title. You got the Acclaimed with the tag titles. You got Darby Allin as the TNT champ. And that amazing guy, Mr. MJF, with the world title. We're all complaining about AEW having too many ex-WWE people holding their titles, taking up too much time. And what did AEW do last night for the most part? They showcased their young, homegrown talent, the pillars of this company going forward. But the match itself was great. The only thing I had a little bit problem with is that I think Joe was fantastic in all the mind games that he's been doing, him holding that championship. The only thing I have a problem with is what does this do now for Wardlow? The whole Wardlow situation right now. Is Wardlow just like completely brushed to the side? Are they just taking the title off of Joe and they're going to continue Wardlow and Joe in just a little feud without the championship? So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. But I just think
after the haircut incident, Wardlow and Joe are nowhere near finished.
Oh, I know, but it's just I feel bad for Joe because he had such a short title reign. I thought he was going to be able to hold that title for a little bit longer, and I don't like the TNT title's been passed around way too much. But I mean, I have to feel good moment. I love Jeff. They are. Oh, I forgot about Orange Cassidy's the Atlantic Championship, the Atlantic Champion too, and the triple chip.
You just had to bring that up, right?
Title. I'm just talking about the homegrown talents and Pac. And the Death Triangle are the trios champions, so I gotta love that too. But it's a great moment for Darby. I love it, and I thought the match was tremendous and good for Darby. And love the feel good moment. Hometown guy winning the championship and just really capped off what was a spectacular Dynamite from the beginning until end, highlighting your homegrown talent showcased on this show. That's what it's all about in wrestling. Your homegrown talent looking great.
I agree with everyone's assessment. This was great. It was just like it was just like a feel good story for Darby Allin. That's what it felt like, a feel good story. He came home. He got whipped from pillar to post. He got the stew beat out of him by Samoa Joe. Yes, Mitch. I had to bring out the Denty Moore beef stew. Yes, Mitch. Beef was destroyed. He was destroyed in the beginning, Mitch. Yes. I always, Mitch, every time I look at you, I have to say that. I have to say he was beating the stew out of it because I know you love it. I know you love it as my best friend, John.
Yeah. Mitch. It's like what Mick Foley used to say back in the day, a cheap pop.
Yeah. I love that more than Orange Cassidy. I
like Orange Cassidy, so I'm
I like him too.
That's my guy too, man. I love Orange Cassidy.
I love Orange Cassidy. I know the gimmick is tiresome, but he's such a great wrestler.
I'll tell you, wrestling I don't have a problem with. Character I can't stand.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mitch. I'll tell you what.
I got you. Like.
It's underrated. It's so charismatic.
I'll tell you what, Mitch. I'll make a deal with you, Mitch. Next time you do Football Sunday show, I will email Orange Cassidy and I'll tell him to pop in your streams.
Please
And then
do.
and then you and him can have a great conversation.
Oh, please do. Please do.
But anyway, I digress. The match was great. The match was fantastic. Great story. Great way to end Dynamite. I love the new Dynamite. The set was fantastic. The audience was great. If you think the crowd was something last night, wait until next week because we got another hot Dynamite next week. The trios championships will be up for grabs in a ladder match.
Escalera de la Muerte. You remember the
yeah.
last couple of years ago, they had a tremendous match at the first ever All Out pay-per-view in 2019.
Yes.
If you guys remember how good that was.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna say something here. I don't remember what chat I was in, but Tony Khan was on the show, and I tweeted Tony Khan, and I said to Tony, I said, you know what, Tony, if you wanted to end Dynamite the great way next week on wrestling, on Wednesday night next week in the Fabulous Forum, you need to make this match commercial free. You need to make this match commercial free so that this way that these teams can tear the house down. No picture in picture, no nothing. Just do it commercial free. Now I don't know if he read my tweet. I don't know what, but anyway, it was a suggestion.
What do you guys thought about the 7 match series? Have you enjoyed it, or are you like, you're over
I loved it.
I love it.
I loved
I've enjoyed it too.
Let me tell you
it's been
something.
awesome. Only beef what it is. You knew it was going to get to 7 matches, and I feel like they kind of made it a little over dramatic with the Death Triangle going up 3-1, and then the Elite having that big, making that, come back to even the series up or whatever. You knew it was going to go 7. It could have just kind of been a little more back and forth, I feel like, because you already knew it was going to go 7 anyway.
Well,
Exactly.
you know something, Mac. The thing is that you have to be over dramatic this way so you can sell the 7th series. You have to do something dramatic in order for you to get that push. Because remember, they're looking for a large audience here. That's what they're looking for. So in order for you to do that, in order for you to have that, you have to have some kind of a formula or some kind of a gimmick to make sure that the audience is invested in it. That is the only reason why they've been over dramatic with it. If they knew that the audience was already invested, I don't think they would have went to that playbook. But just in case you get a new viewer, you get somebody who's tuning in for the first time, you need that over dramatic, over the top spot. You need that little element in the feud to make it work. So everything that they have done so far up until this point has worked. And you are invested in it because everyone is talking about it. So subliminally, it worked. Campaign-wise, it worked, and drawing in the audience worked. So those are the three formulas that work.
Are we gonna see a Canadian destroyer off a ladder again, like Penta did years ago on Matt Jackson to that table? It's probably the craziest move I've ever seen.
Jeffrey, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I'm just going to say this to you, my friend. Don't worry about the spots in the match because you're going to get so lost in the match. It is not going to be funny because these men are going to use that ladder like it was a Home Depot special.
Oh, I know. You guys are going to go all out for this match. It's going to be incredible.
This match is going to be a banger. This match is going to be so good that you want it more. It's going to be that delicious flambe of a souffle that you just want to eat more and more of it. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. It's going to be a hot flambe, and it's going to feel like a souffle, and and everything, and
it's going to be on Battle of the Belts, right?
Anybody Bay?
That match is Battle of the Belts.
Is it Battle of the Belts?
I think it's Battle. That match is going to be on Battle of the Belts, right? The 7th for the.
No. That ladder match is next week on Dynamite in the
It's next week.
Fabulous
I'm
Key.
sorry.
Yeah, next week in the Fabulous Kia Forum. That's what we're gonna get. That ladder match.
Okay.
That's the ladder match you're gonna
And
get.
actually, Jeff and I are going to stream that next week. It's going to be good.
I can't wait for the ladder match. I can't wait for Hangman, and Moxley, and then obviously who's going to be Saraya's real partner coming out in that tag team match. I love Jamie Hayter. I love
that show.
Yeah, it's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane. I love when they go to California. I love when they give the California audience.
What's Danielson and MJF going to do next too? I mean, what is their next
step? Yeah. What is their next step? That's going to be good. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was AEW Dynamite. Now I'm going to ask my panelists, guys, what overall grade do you give AEW Dynamite? I'm going to start with my friend of the Raw Watch Along, Mr. Jeffrey Turner. Jeffrey, what do you give the grade?
A. I'll give it an A. I thought the show was. I'm not gonna give it an A+. There were still some a little bit down moments. Obviously, the women's match and segment was a little meh. The ending of the tag team title match could have been done without the theatrics and everything. But the first match between Ricky Starks and Jericho was tremendous. I mean, I thought that the AR Fox versus Swerve match was tremendous. The main event was great. I mean, the tag team match for the most part was great. I mean, obviously the highlight for me was that incredible segment between Brian Danielson and MJF, which was absolutely out of this world. I mean, the feel-good moment showcasing your homegrown talent. I thought the show was great. I thought the setup, the staging, the illumination, the entire feel of AEW Dynamite felt a hell of a lot more like a WWE type show. It really did. I loved everything about this show, and it's a phenomenal way to kick off AEW in 2023. So I give it an
A. Mitch, what do you think?
Everything Jeff said, but I'll give it an A+. There was no Orange Cassidy, so A+ for me. I love it.
Really? And I hope he wins the world title sometime soon.
You want him to beat MJF?
And say now, I said in the future. No, nobody's beating MJF. Nobody is beating MJF anytime soon, as they should not beat MJF. He's too good.
So the fathom you even spoke that into existence scares me.
Maybe the next year or two.
Let me ask you something, guys. Would you be shocked if Bryan Danielson walks away the new AEW champion?
Yes, because MJF should not be dropping that championship anytime soon. No. MJF should be having a historic title reign. There's no way you can take the belt off MJF right now. Okay. No way.
Mac, what do you think?
Okay. I mean, I'll give the show an A-, and only because the tag team match, the women's tag team match, was to me absolutely terrible. And also, we had a couple promos. I mean, the Billy Gunn's kids. I could have dealt without that promo too. That really didn't do anything for me either. I mean, and I thought they should have put a little more into the Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter segment. I think they should have had a little more time, because it could have been a really, really great segment. It was like a minute, 2 minutes long, whatever. So just little small things like that. And the fact that my boy, freshly squeezed, Orange Cassidy, didn't make an appearance, that's all.
I'm not even watching on Friday.
Takes
Friday, bro, I'm not even watching. I'm at the game tomorrow.
Otherwise, it was a really great show. I'm really just nitpicking, to be honest. But it was a really great show. But I'll give it a strong A-, just because of those little things.
Just to let Mitch know, I already called the arena, and they will be beaming the Rampage for you on the Jumbotron as you go to the basketball game. So therefore, I digress.
Especially when Orange Cassidy is on the screen.
Yes.
I know this is not wrestling related, but I do got a little bit of news. The NFL has officially ruled the Monday Night Football game a no contest. It's official. It's in the bag.
Okay. All right.
Makes sense. It's good job by the NFL doing that.
Yeah, that's a good job. That's a good job. And by the way, just to give you an update, he is improving. He was holding his mother's hand this afternoon.
That's awesome.
Beautiful thing to hear.
His lungs are is healing. The main muscle in his heart is healing, and he has no neurological damage. So
It's
he
fantastic to
he is
hear.
improving very rapidly, and we wish him all of our best. So folks, that is going to do it for this AEW. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to discuss something that's backed up in the sewer. Folks, when you have something backed up in the sewer, you need to get a plunger. And unfortunately, every time you try to plunge it, the little nuggets and stuff that's in that bowl just can't seem to go down the right way. I am talking about I am talking about Vince McMahon. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, it was revealed that Vince McMahon wants to come back to the WWE. He wants to sell the company and his shares, and he wants to take over. Now, in a conference call they did with Vince McMahon said, and I quote, "If I come back to the WWE, we're going to do things my way," which means that he will undo everything that Triple H has done so far, which means that the live attendance will go down again. Raw will be the worst thing you've ever seen on television, and SmackDown will become irrelevant. So, and of course, the Royal Rumble will be a hot mess.
Charlotte will win it again.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this at all, because we were doing so good up until this point. I do not want. Now, let me just give you a backstory. The WWE brass, the main brass of WWE, does not want Vince McMahon back in the fold, because he will ruin the atmosphere that is currently going on right now in WWE. Right now in WWE, the locker rooms are happy. Everyone is happy because they're not being pressured anymore. There's no pressure for them to perform. If they're sick, they get the time off. If they need a break, they get a break. If Vince McMahon comes back, those things will come to an end. Those things will come to an end, and he will ruin the atmosphere. He's going to ruin. He ruined it before, and he's going to do it again. And I don't agree with this at all. The man should be retired and stay away from the company. Keep your greasy, nasty paws off WWE. It is fine the way it is. Yes, Raw has been inconsistent with up and down episodes. 1 minute it's up, next minute it's down, next minute it's mediocre. But at least the matches are competitive and entertaining. The matches are entertaining. They're not the greatest thing you've ever seen on paper, but they are entertaining. If Vince McMahon comes back, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to ruin the women's division again. Okay? And the women are going to be. You think the women are not relevant on Raw now? Wait until he gets his hands on it. They will really become irrelevant. They will end in 2-minute matches. They will be the same woman over and over again every week.
Stupid 24/7 belt will come back.
Yeah, the 24/7 thing will be reinstated. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you, this is not good. I smell something nasty in the toilet, and I don't like that smell. We need an enema, and that enema is Triple H. I I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks, but I can't sugarcoat it.
No,
I can't
don't. You're
sugar. I
right.
can't.
You're right.
I cannot sugarcoat it. I cannot sugarcoat
Look
it.
at the anguish in all our faces. We get like our skin is starting to crawl to think of
I
the
mean,
crap that could be
it's
coming
I
like
don't
back.
even want to show my face right now.
I mean,
it's like
it's
this. The
just.
past 6 months have been amazing in WWE. I mean, so much better than it's been in the last few years. And now you just know Vince is going to come back and he's just going to ruin it all over again. I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I just said, Mac. That's exactly what I just said. The live attendance is going to go down. Let me just explain something to you before I get everyone's opinion. I'm just going to say this one point, and I'm going to shut up. Um, the last time Vince McMahon was in charge, okay? The last time he was in charge, I went to Madison Square Garden for the annual holiday show. It was only 1,200 people in Madison Square Garden. This was the worst attendance in Madison Square Garden history. When Triple H took over the holiday show, we had 15,155. That is a big jump from what Vince McMahon did when he ran the holiday show. Because the matches that he produced in the garden were irrelevant. Nobody cared about none of these matches because we've seen them on TV already. So why are you going to repeat the matches you've seen on TV in a house show? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any
they do.
sense.
Yeah.
That's the Vince McMahon
So,
way.
so Jeffrey, I'm going to get your opinion on it, then Mitch, and then Matt. Go ahead.
Can I pass the mic to one of them first? Because I'm still I'm getting sick. Mac and Mitch, you guys can go first because I'm gonna have a lot to say about this.
Mitch, go ahead.
Situation.
Mitch, go ahead.
I mean, I called this from the beginning. I said that he was going to come back sooner rather than later, and all this was going to go away. I called this. I saw this from a mile away. There was no way in hell that Vince McMahon will walk away scot-free. The only reason he got away is because of the scandals. That was it. As soon as that was off, he would come back. He was going to go to sell the company. I think he's going to sell it to Disney. And, yeah, I called this. I'm not surprised. I really am not. Everyone's like surprised. I'm like, guys, it's common sense. I'm done. That's the short version.
Mac, what do you think?
It's just right when WWE is starting to gain credibility back again, and things are getting a little better, getting better matches, getting better feuds, just getting better wrestling. Period. Other people getting opportunities. It's like here, this guy comes again, and he just has to dirty it all up. It's just he's old. He's like you said, he's stubborn. He doesn't want to. He does no evolution with him. He just thinks it's all about. Let me get the big guys, these big strong muscle men. They got to be all about them, and it can't be about anybody else. Forget the little guys. Forget the ricochets and the guys like that of those kind of caliber wrestlers. It's all about the Roman Reigns. I mean, look. Okay, Roman Reigns, yeah, sure. He's got the good look of a champion. But okay, it's been almost 3 years now. Let's move on. It's time to move on, man. And I feel like Roman Reigns will have that title for another 3 years now if Vince McMahon comes the hell back. It's just like, come on, give me a break, man. Vince McMahon is just gonna come back and run this thing right back into the ground again. And you know what? He doesn't even give a damn because he's a billionaire, so he can do whatever the hell he wants to. And that's just all it is. He just has that kind of arrogant attitude when it comes to it, man. It's his way and no other way. I mean, you got to let these wrestlers have a little bit of their own, like, be their own creativeness. You know what I mean? Let them build their characters up a little bit, create their characters, and kind of. But nah, it's got to be the Vince McMahon way. I want you to be this person, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to be the crazy, whatever person, as opposed to just being what feels organic for the character, man. And Sleeping Angels is nailing it in the chat right now.
He is. I love his comments.
And absolutely destroy everything, man. He's going to come in and tear down everything Triple H has built. And it's just like as if he sees, oh, it's looking good right now. Everything's been so good these last 6 months. I got to get back in there and ruin it for everybody. Oh, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I can't, I'm not going to be on board. WWE, if Vince McMahon takes back over, I don't know, man. I'm just not sure how I feel about it, man. I'm just not.
Jeffrey, what do you think?
I mean,
You want the solo screen?
no. It's fine. I
Okay.
mean, I'm just absolutely disgusted. I really am. I tried so hard to get reinvested with WWE because of shit show after shit show after shit show after shit show, rematch after rematch after rematch after rematch after rematch, pay-per-view rematch, regular rematches over and over and over and over again, pointless segments, comedy segments, like 2-minute wrestling matches, irrelevant television. It's just, that's what Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and his clowns, the old men, they're like on the porch right now, like, I'm going to do it my way. I don't care what you say. Like that kind of feeling. And I really believe, I really believe that Vince McMahon is jealous because what his son-in-law did with NXT and the amazing job he did with NXT when Black and Gold was being talked about as the greatest wrestling promotion of amazing wrestling. All the time you had up and down that damn roster. Every single second, compelling storylines, compelling characters, great wrestling. NXT was the show stealer, and Vince got pissed off, and he's like, I'm going to go into NXT, and I'm going to kill what my son-in-law did. You know it's a fact. He killed that brand. He destroyed it. He killed all those characters. He released some people that had no business being released, including some people that, thank God, Triple H has brought them back. You see the dumbass characters he put them in. LA Knight, who is one of the best damn characters on the show, and he put him into some stupid-ass Maximum Male Models group. You freaking talk about Dominic Dijakovic? He turned this dude into an idiot wearing a mask. Or Nikki ASH, the superhero. Are you kidding me? Instead of Nikki Cross. And he released some incredible talents. Like Karrion Kross, who was amazing in NXT. Or Bronson Reed. What this guy did in NXT. Aleister Black. Andrade. Can I keep the Revival? Keith Lee. I mean, we're talking about top tier. Athena, Tony Storm,
Braun Strowman,
Bray Wyatt. We're talking about top tier talent that this idiot ruined because he was bitter that his son-in-law was doing better than he was. And now that he had to get ousted because of let's just be for real, even the casuals out there. Vince McMahon got ousted because of what happened with the scandals going on in WWE. And every single fit, Ruby Soho is another one. Thank you, Sleeping Angels. Yes. He was ousted because of the scandals, and every single WWE fan that knows the business celebrated because we got him the hell out of that company. And with Triple H in charge, we knew better days were coming. And Triple H, he's brought back all those people that were mistreated with Vince McMahon, and the business has gotten so much better. And we are all genuinely excited for what Triple H has in store for Royal Rumble and beyond going forward. Even with the up and down shows, like Earl said, the up and down shows, still Triple H is trying to fix what Vince McMahon has broken for so many years. It's going to take years to rebuild that women's division, to rebuild this roster. It's going to rebuild the relevancy because the fans just don't care because of the garbage that Vince has put on for the past 15 years. And now Vince McMahon all of a sudden wants to come back into the WWE because he's jealous that his son-in-law is doing so well, because his daughter is doing a great job as the chairwoman right now, even Nick Khan, and he wants to come back in and ruin it because he feels bitter because of what happened before and because he had the quote-unquote wrong people talking to him in his head. Vince McMahon doesn't give a damn about WWE. He's 77, 78 years old. He knows that the end is not that far away from him. He doesn't give a damn about what the fans think and the fans want. He just wants to come in and, like Sleeping Angel said in the comments before, he wants to kill his fucking company. He wants to destroy it. He wants to burn it to the ground and piss on the ashes. That's what he wants to do. I'm sorry to say it in that type of vulgar way, but we all know it's the damn truth. He don't give a goddamn about this company. He don't give a goddamn about the people on this roster. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that he wants to come back and screw over this company after what Triple H has done so hard the past 6 months to put WWE finally back in relevancy. It makes me sick as a fan, and we all in this panel are going to be watching this show and covering the Royal Rumble in 2023. And that man, if he takes over in 2023 before the Royal Rumble and gets to control the company back, we know what's going to happen. Roman Reigns, like Max said, will be champion for like the next 5 years. Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch will win the Royal Rumble. Ronda Rousey will be in the main event again. It'll be the same goddamn people. Judgment Day will be destroyed. Hit Row will be gone. Sanity, who they might bring back together, might be killed. The Hurt Business, who they're finally teasing coming back together, that will be killed. Everything that's good about WWE will be dead. And it'll just be the downfall and destruction of World Wrestling Entertainment. I hope to God that somebody gets in this guy's ear, and I apologize for the long rant, that somebody gets in his ear, Stephanie, Triple H, I don't care who it is, and convinces him to not do this. Get in his ear and stop him before he absolutely destroys what could be an absolute renaissance for the WWE that we have needed in wrestling for so long. Please, God, stop him from coming back and destroying this company. Please. I'm done.
Nothing more I can say about that. You expressed yourself very well and eloquently. Let me just say something before we close the show. As everybody knows around here, especially here in the Hardcore Sports Network, I've been a wrestling fan for a very long time, and I know what's good and I know what isn't good. I don't think this is good. This is not good. Because let me explain to you why. On the business side, Triple H is trying to get new sponsors for the WWE. He's trying to build new relationships with arenas that Vince McMahon destroyed. He's trying to do things for the fans that deserve something good down the highway. If Vince McMahon takes over the WWE, ladies and gentlemen, the wrestling business as we know it will be altered forever. Because you can't sit there. Now, I know that there are some people out there that are staunch WWE fans, and they don't care what happens to the company. Listen, you need to come here close. You better care about what's going on with this company, because let me tell you something. Kayfabe or not, you're never going to enjoy wrestling again if Vince McMahon takes over the WWE. And I'm going to say this publicly. If Vince McMahon takes over WWE, I am done as a wrestling fan of the WWE. I am done. I will never, ever again talk about WWE on my show or anywhere in my presence. I'm done. Because we don't deserve the same old crap that he has produced in the past. We don't deserve it. And then you ask the fans, then you ask us, the fans, because fans make wrestling. Whether you don't agree with it or not, fans make wrestling. We're investors in the wrestling product. We are investors. When you buy the ticket, when you buy the pay-per-view, when you buy the merchandise, what do you think you're doing? You're giving the company their revenue, which means that you're an investor. And as an investor, don't you want to know where your money is going? Don't you want to know where your hard-earned dollars are going? And don't you think that you deserve something great out of those dollars? Folks, wake up and smell the coffee here. Look at the overall picture here. If Vince McMahon takes over this company again, wrestling as we know it will never, ever be the same again. Raw will be canceled off of USA because the ratings will keep going down. And a television company like the USA can't have that. Fox will probably end their relationship with the WWE because SmackDown will be going in the toilet. I'm telling you, folks.
Makes me sick. Makes me
I
sick.
told
feel like
I,
Vince comes back, and I feel like we'll get another Goldberg.
Oh my God!
You know,
again.
give me a break.
I mean, if you let me tell you something. You want to dust that man off? Well, you better have 600 oxygen tanks because the guy can't last.
Yeah, it's true.
The guy can't last.
I agree. I mean, his matches are a joke at this point.
About how many Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns matches are we gonna get again? 80? If he takes over, we're gonna get that at WrestleMania again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jeffrey. Oh yes, and you won't see it on and Jeffrey. Let me tell you something. You won't see that on WrestleMania. You'll see it on Raw too.
Oh yeah.
And
right.
yeah, and you will see it on SmackDown again. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then 3 weeks later, you'll see it again, Jeffrey. That's just because you loved it so much. We're gonna show it to you again. We're gonna dress it up.
By the way, Nick Sirianni, you spelled Saquon wrong.
Yeah, but you definitely spelled Saquon wrong. And
what are you talking about?
Saquon Barkley.
Your coach is in the chat, and he spelled Saquon Barkley wrong. So.
Oh. Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
So you failed. You failed, Nick Sirianni. I'm sorry. That's
yeah. Yeah. I understand it completely.
When
you said it, I was at full screen. So
I might have to agree with Earl. If Vince does take over control, I'm done with WWE. I'm not going to cover it anymore. I don't want to be involved with it. I cannot sit through bullshit Vince McMahon Raws anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't sit there. And let me explain something to you. I'm going to be doing this show for 2 years in April. My second anniversary of the show is coming in April. And let me just say something. Everybody always accused me of bashing WWE. Everybody and their mom always accused me of bashing them. Let me tell you something. If something is good, ladies and gentlemen, I will praise it. If something is good, I will relish it. But if it's bad, what do you think I'm going to do? Say it was great? No, it's not great. It's not great, ladies and gentlemen. It's not great.
Remember what Vince McMahon did with the Judgment Day? How hot they looked when Edge first started? And then apparently Edge didn't want it. They didn't want to do magic. They turned him into like a spooky, stupid-ass magic group, and they took Edge out of the group after 1 month? 1 month you cut him out of the group for no reason?
Vince McMahon is the ultimate faction killer, man.
Yes.
Ultimate
faction
killer.
And he is, because I tell you
and
something.
And tag team wrestling, he hates that too.
And I mean the tag. I'm telling you, once he takes over, everything is going to nuclear explode. It's just going to implode. It's going to implode. I'm telling you. And what's the sense of me covering What's the sense of me covering it? What I mean, you're going to get the same thing over and over again. What's the sense? What is the sense?
But
You know,
here's the
it's
thing,
just
stopping him. Who's stopping Vince McMahon from taking over? Can anybody legit stop him? He has all
no,
the power. He has the
It's
stock
his.
shareholders. He has
right?
it all. If he wants to come back, nobody could stop him. He's going to take
No,
his two right-hand chromies, I believe George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, who he's pretty much saying are going to be part of his committee to get back on the shareholders boards of the directors. He's going to kick out three people. Stephanie and Nick Khan are going to be booted out of their positions. Triple H is going to be taken out of his, and it's going to be the same garbage all over again. Nobody can stop Vince. He doesn't care about these scandals because he doesn't feel threatened by these scandals. He doesn't care. And I told you that earlier when we were on the Raw Watch Along, when we talked about Vince McMahon. He doesn't give a damn about the scandals. He doesn't give a damn what the fans think. He doesn't give a damn what anybody thinks. He wants to kill his company. He doesn't want anybody else to succeed with the WWE except Vince McMahon. He refuses to have that.
The biggest problem
Yeah,
with
I
Vince is
agree. I
nobody else's
agree.
opinion. No one else's opinion matters when it's Vince. He's just
Yes.
No,
it's just a dictatorship. It's just whatever. It's like nobody
yeah.
else can have an
It's
opinion,
it's
affect
my
equal
it's
opinion, man.
yeah.
You're
It's
right.
my
You're
way.
absolutely right.
It's my way of the highway. That's Vince McMahon.
The bullshit.
And his
Um,
way is a joke. I'm sorry.
right.
It's a failure.
Remember
Right.
Ember Moon got injured? She tore her Achilles tendon when she was running a stupid-ass 24/7 segment.
Yeah.
She injured her Achilles and missed over a year in WWE because she was chasing a goddamn 24/7 title. Athena.
And not on and not
the best
only
women's
that,
wrestler in the world.
and not only that, Jeffrey. He made her pay for her own surgery.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
He refused to pay
That's
for her
disgusting.
surgery.
That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
he refused. He refused to pay for her surgery. He refused. He refused. He
It's
said it was
disgusting
his.
because he put
It
her in
was
that
his.
stupid-ass segment.
He said he put her in the segment. He was producing the segment, and she knew the risk. That's what his answer was.
It's because all of them are independent contractors.
Remember the shutting off of Twitch? He stopped them from using their social media platforms.
Because you know why? Unionization is a word he can't stand.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of other words he can't stand. It's the Vince McMahon buzzwords. Remember
Yep.
those idiot things he put up there all the time? You can't say hospital. You can't say wrestler. You can't say this. You can't say that. You have to say medical facility. You have to say sports entertainer.
Right.
Give me a fucking break.
And he also says you can't say busted open.
Oh,
He
yeah,
also,
that too.
you know,
forgot
he said you can't say blood. Can't say that. And you definitely can't say the word champion. You cannot say that. That was a no-no. I remember one time Michael Cole on a recent article said he accidentally on the air said the word championship belt.
Oh, my
And
God. Yeah, you can't
Vince,
say belt either.
right. And Vince McMahon lost his mind in the gorilla position. So when the commercial came, Michael Cole had to run to the back because Vince said, I need to speak to you in the back immediately. He was reprimanded for that little fraction. And he said, if you want to keep your job, read these buzzwords and not use it on the telecast. So I mean, this was the way he controlled everything.
Don't forget about the ripping up the scripts, Earl. Don't forget about that.
Yes,
when he rips up the goddamn scripts 10 or 15 minutes before the show starts, and he rewrites the whole thing literally about 10, 15 minutes before they go on the air. Don't forget about that genius.
Here's something
and that's
else.
the truth. He does do that.
Yes,
that is the truth.
Yes, he does. That is true.
Thank you, by the way, Mac. Mitch, keep your coach in line, by the way. Keep your coach in line.
What happened now?
Nick Sirianni in there tripping in the chat, man, but it's okay.
Ow. It doesn't matter. That's a Fall Guys player.
Right.
I'm sorry, Earl.
No, I was thinking about something else that Vince McMahon did. He I remember the time that the WWE was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he told everybody in the earpiece, whoever was wearing a headset, do not use the word Raleigh. And why he said that, why he told them not to say that, he didn't think the word Raleigh was prestigious enough. So you're talking you just insulted the people of Raleigh, North Carolina, the city who opened their door to you to have your circus crap in their arena.
And this is all legit too. This is not like something insane that we're all making up. This is
No.
legit.
This is legit. This is legit. This is legit. This is legit.
It really is. And
this is legit. No, I'm not making this up.
To this day, it's not Orange Cassidy, different company. It's the name Gunther. I don't care what anybody says about the last name being taken away or not. I don't care. It was named after someone, if you guys know the history.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
No, but the last name bothers me. The last name bothers me because some of the guys make no sense. Theory. Doesn't Austin Theory sound better? Riddle. Matt Riddle. Tommaso Ciampa.
Right.
Give them their damn full names and let them actually have a presence on television. Don't cut their names because you don't like it. We know why I took away Austin Theory's name, because it sounded too much like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give me a freaking break.
Really?
And then
they really did that, Mac. They took away his first name because they didn't want him. They didn't want to have two Austins. Remember the Cross? Well, they named her Nikki ASH because they didn't want to have two people named Cross. Even though they spelled differently. So they had Karrion Kross and Nikki ASH because Vince didn't want to have two people named Cross on his program. Which is ridiculous. That's Vince McMahon for you. I swear. I hope if he takes care of the company, Earl, I'm sorry, and everybody that loves the Raw watch along, we might have to stop because I cannot cover this crap. I can't do it.
We'll do the AEW then. We'll move it to we'll do the AEW watch along.
You will see everybody flock right back to AEW. If Vince takes control, everybody's gonna be running to All Elite Wrestling. They know it's coming. You don't think this roster stressed the hell out, thinking that Vince is gonna be coming in? Triple H is stressed out. Stephanie, his own daughter is stressed out. Nick Khan doesn't care. I think he was hired specifically to sell the company. I think that's the only reason why Nick Khan is here, because he's going to be the one to sell WWE eventually. But I mean, especially Triple H, I feel so bad for this guy. All the hard work he's put in, and Vince McMahon is going to destroy it. I'm praying.
Tear it all down.
He's going to destroy it all.
After bad storyline.
Let's just all cross our fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just hope and pray he does not get his fingerprints on this company. Let's just pray and hope.
What's going to stop him? That's the thing that scares me. What is going to stop him? What's going on, Blaze?
What's good?
Hello, Blaze Radio. How are you?
I'm sure he's probably pissed off about this too, hearing about it with the whole WWE
I hit the thumb.
situation.
Thank you, WrestleSense podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Folks, that's going to do it for our show. This discussion is absolutely, this was great. Everybody in here, I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Earl. I got one more thing.
Okay, Mitch.
One more thing, and I'm just going to toss it and just be done with it. I met the guy, okay? I met Vince McMahon when I was 10, 11, 12, whatever.
Yes.
And when you were talking about, my dad and I were together, and we were talking about like the old time wrestlers. Like,
oh yeah, I grew up on that.
All those guys. He lit up, and he was like, "Oh, he golfs every day and stuff like that." So I think about that moment, and I see it now, and I'm like, "What happened?"
He got old and senile. That's what happened. And crazy.
You have to understand.
It baffles me. I've been a fan of this for not as long as you guys, but I'm just saying here, I've been a long wrestling fan for as long as I can freaking remember. So it's like going to AEW. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say something before we close the show. Um, when you get stuck in the past, you are always going to be in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Vince. He doesn't want to
That's a great point,
evolve.
Sophie. It's a gregreat point. It's kind
He,
of
he,
funny. This pops up right around the Royal Rumble season. How ironic.
yeah, yeah, and he doesn't care about what like Jeff said. He doesn't care about what the fans think. And the thing is that he's stuck in the past.
Mm-hmm.
What you have done in the past cannot do in the future. It just doesn't work. The wrestling business is a result oriented business. It when the fans like something, they will rally around it and they will embrace it. But when they don't like it, especially on Twitter, they will roast the crap out of it. There's nothing positive we can say anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing positive to say anything about this
But I know
situation.
better because I'm Vince McMahon. And I
Well,
don't give a damn what the fans think.
well, you know something. You will care when the Raw ratings go in the tank, in the toilet again.
You didn't care before.
Well, yeah. Well, then you'll really care when USA executives come to you and said, "Well, because of these numbers, we're going to pull the plug on your show." You will care then, won't you? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it.
Sick. Must be sick.
Yeah.
How great Monday Night Raw was for so many years, and you have this garbage that's killing our fun that we grew up watching. I'm sorry. Go
Yes.
ahead.
No. I agree, Jeffrey. Folks, that's going to do it for my show. That's going to do it for my show. Let me just say something. We will be back with the Raw Watch Along on January the 16th. We are going to be back with that. I'm going to be back with the Wrestling Experience on January the 19th. And on that night, ladies and gentlemen, my guest will be DJ Storms. DJ Storms and I, we're going to discuss the AEW Dynamite. We're going to discuss AEW Dynamite, and we're going to discuss wrestling and business, and we're going to have the hottest news in the wrestling business. So tune in for that. Next week, I'm going to be taking a break from wrestling. I'm going to get much deserved rest because this has been a long and emotional week for me, and I need to put myself on pause. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Mac the Giants fan, Mitch Kofsky, and of course Jeffrey Turner, my co-pilot for the Raw Watch Along. Like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the Raw Watch Along on Monday, January the 16th, Martin Luther King's birthday. And we hope that you'll tune in because we have a dream. We have a dream, and it doesn't include Vince McMahon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hey, everyone.